Have you ever wondered why some people seem to handle stress with such calm or bounce back from setbacks with surprising grace? Maybe you felt overwhelmed by your own emotions, wishing you could respond rather than react. What's the secret to staying steady when life throws curveballs? Can anyone truly learn to become more emotionally mature, no matter their age? Absolutely. It's a skill you can develop at any stage in life. Stay until the end. What you'll learn might change your life. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Name your feelings to tame them. Consider a moment from the past when a simple argument with a loved one left you feeling uneasy all day. Maybe the disagreement started over something small, like how to arrange the chairs for a family meal. But as the hours passed, a knot formed in your stomach. You noticed your mood shifting, yet couldn't quite put your finger on why you felt unsettled, frustrated, or perhaps even hurt. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. And the key to gaining control in these situations often starts with a surprisingly simple act: naming your feelings. Labeling your emotions might sound too basic to matter, but research shows it does wonders for soothing emotional storms. When you pause to internally say, "I feel disappointed," or "I'm worried," you bridge the gap between your body's anxious reactions and your mind's understanding. Like flipping on a light in a dark room. Naming what's going on allows you to see the situation more clearly and decide how to handle it. This process gives your brain a moment to catch up with your heart, offering a practical pause before you say or do something you might regret. For example, imagine a friend calls to cancel plans at the last minute. You might first feel irritated, but as you ask yourself what's really going on, you realize it's actually sadness for missing their company. By identifying sadness instead of snapping back or withdrawing, you now have a choice. You can express your feelings honestly or do something soothing instead of letting the day spiral into resentment. Growing older doesn't mean you stop experiencing tough emotions. In fact, life's later years can bring new challenges and sources of stress. But it also offers wisdom and the opportunity to approach emotions with curiosity rather than judgment. How many times have you felt out of sorts, but weren't sure why? Next time, try silently naming the emotion first. What might you discover about yourself if you made this a daily habit? Pause before you react. Think back to a time when words left your mouth faster than you intended, only for regret to settle in moments later. Perhaps it was during a family gathering, when someone's innocent comment touched a tender spot and you snapped back a little too sharply. Or maybe you found yourself raising your voice over a minor misunderstanding, only to feel embarrassed or misunderstood soon after. It's natural, especially as emotions run high or old wounds get poked. But emotional maturity is about learning to intercept that knee-jerk reaction. Pausing before you respond, even for just a few seconds, can make all the difference. Imagine yourself at the dinner table, a grandchild teasing you about something from your youth, and you feel a rush of irritation begin to rise. Instead of speaking right away, you take a slow breath, maybe even sip your drink and let the moment settle. This short pause is like stepping outside a storm for a breath of fresh air. In that space, you can ask yourself what's really bothering you. Perhaps it's not the teasing itself, but memories it brings up or worry about how you're being perceived. By giving yourself a beat, you can choose your words with more care and perhaps even explain where you're coming from, rather than letting frustration do the talking. Over time, this practice builds resilience. Instead of relationships being strained by misunderstandings or impulsive comments, they deepen into richer conversations, marked by patience and understanding. Picture the warmth and openness this could bring to your family connections or friendships. Have you noticed how a simple pause can sometimes shift an entire conversation in a better direction? What might change if you made this small act of waiting a regular part of your daily routine? Choose curiosity over judgment. Picture yourself listening to a friend share a story about a mistake they made, perhaps a costly financial error or a misunderstanding that led to harsh words. It's all too easy to react with immediate judgment, thinking, "I would never do that," or "How could they not see this coming?" Yet, when we lead with curiosity instead of criticism, we open the door to deeper understanding for both others and ourselves. Imagine, instead, approaching that friend with genuine interest. What was going through your mind in that moment? Or how did you feel when it happened? Suddenly, the conversation shifts from blame to connection, inviting honesty and vulnerability. This approach applies not only to interactions with others, but to how we treat our own past choices. As years go by, we all have regrets, decisions we wish we could erase, or moments we replay, wondering what might have been. Emotional maturity invites us to exchange harsh self-judgment for gentle curiosity. Instead of scolding yourself for a slip of the tongue or a missed opportunity, you might quietly wonder, what was I really needing right then? Or what did I hope to feel or avoid? With curiosity, you might discover hidden fears, old patterns, or unmet needs driving your actions. Insights that can help you make wiser choices in the future. Consider the last time you were quick to judge, whether someone else or yourself. Did it bring you relief or only deepen the divide? What if, next time, you pause to ask a question instead of delivering an answer, peering beneath the surface for greater wisdom? Are you willing to try curiosity as a bridge to understanding and see what new connections and personal discoveries follow? Embrace vulnerability as strength. Imagine sitting with an old friend, reminiscing about years gone by, and suddenly the conversation turns to moments of grief, regret, or longing. Perhaps you hesitate to share a deeply personal story, worried that revealing your emotions will make you seem weak or burdensome. But real maturity is found in those honest moments when we allow ourselves to be seen just as we are. For many older adults, the instinct to remain stoic or to protect loved ones from your pain is strong. Maybe you grew up in a time when emotions were kept tightly under wraps. Yet, the truth is that opening up, even about the most difficult topics, is a profound act of courage. Think of a time when someone confided in you, letting their guard down. Chances are you felt honored and trusted, and the bond between you deepened. The same is true when you share your own vulnerabilities, whether it's talking about the loneliness of losing a spouse, grappling with health fears, or admitting you don't have all the answers. Emotional maturity means recognizing that vulnerability is not a flaw, but a bridge to connection and healing. When you speak openly, perhaps during a quiet afternoon with family, or while writing a letter to someone you miss, you offer others permission to do the same. This mutual openness can break cycles of isolation and misunderstanding, fostering richer, more authentic relationships at any stage of life. Have you noticed how expressing your true feelings can sometimes bring unexpected comfort or draw others closer? What would it be like to share more of your story, not just the triumphs, but the trials as well, and discover the support waiting on the other side of vulnerability? Practice forgiveness for others and yourself. Imagine carrying around a heavy bag filled with old grievances, slights, or disappointments. Each unresolved hurt and grudge is like a stone in that bag, weighing you down with every step. Many people reach their later years still burdened by resentments from the past, a falling out with a friend who said the wrong thing decades ago, or regret over words spoken in anger to a loved one. Emotional maturity is reflected in the willingness to set down that bag by practicing forgiveness not only toward others, but also toward yourself. For example, perhaps you remember a family member who let you down, or a friendship that slowly faded away because of one misunderstood conversation. Holding on to that pain might have seemed protective, but over time, it can create distance and loneliness. The same holds true for the judgments we make about our own mistakes. Does revisiting an old error, maybe an investment that didn't pan out or a parenting decision that went awry, really make you wiser? Or does it just chip away at your self-compassion? True forgiveness is not about forgetting or excusing, but about releasing the grip these memories have on your heart. It can look like writing a letter you never send, offering a simple apology, or just deciding to let go for the sake of your own peace. As you grow older, the relief of lightening your emotional load can be profound, freeing space for joy, reconnection, and a gentler relationship with your own story. When was the last time you forgave someone or yourself and noticed how much lighter you felt afterward? Could forgiving, even in small ways, open the door to new beginnings, deeper connections, or simply more peace in your day-to-day life? Set healthy boundaries with love and clarity. Picture a neighbor dropping by unannounced every afternoon, chatting long past your usual dinner time. Maybe a grown child relies on you for advice, but rarely listens, leaving you feeling drained or overlooked. These everyday scenarios highlight how essential boundaries are. Yet for many, especially those who grew up putting others first, the idea of setting limits can feel selfish or uncomfortable. Emotional maturity means recognizing that boundaries do not separate us from others, but rather protect our well-being and shape more respectful relationships. Think of the gentle but honest conversations you've had when someone's behavior bothered you. Instead of stewing in silence or hinting, maybe you decided to speak up and share how their actions affected you. It might have sounded like, "I love our visits, but I need to eat dinner at 6, or "I'm here to support you, but I can't solve every problem for you." Setting these limits isn't about rejection or harsh rules. It's about ensuring your needs matter as much as anyone else's. Some of the most loving families and friendships thrive because boundaries clarify expectations and prevent resentment from building. By saying yes when you truly mean it and no when necessary, you invite more honesty and trust into your connections. Over time, honoring your own limits teaches others to respect them. 2. Creating space for deeper, more authentic interactions. Do you ever wish you could say what you really feel without guilt or fear of offending someone? What would change in your closest relationships if your needs and boundaries were expressed clearly and lovingly? Embrace empathy in everyday moments. Imagine standing in line at the grocery store, growing impatient as someone ahead of you moves slowly or fumbles for change. Or perhaps your partner forgets an important date, and you feel a pang of disappointment. In those moments, frustration is a natural reaction, but emotional maturity invites us to pause and consider the other person's perspective. Maybe the person in line is battling arthritis or simply having an off day, and your partner's memory slip was due to stress, not carelessness. Empathy is the art of stepping into another's shoes, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. For many older adults who have navigated a lifetime of relationships, nurturing empathy can seem straightforward, yet it's easy for irritation or old assumptions to cloud our understanding. Think back to a time when someone surprised you with their struggles, a neighbor who lost a loved one, or a friend coping with hidden health issues. When you viewed their actions through a lens of empathy instead of judgment, did your response shift from annoyance to patience or even support? Offering understanding does not excuse thoughtless behavior, but it softens our reactions and deepens our bonds. Empathy transforms everyday interactions, turning potential conflict into connection and fosters resilience in long-term relationships. Could practicing empathy in small, daily encounters, not just those big moments, change how you relate to others and, more importantly, how connected you feel? When was the last time you saw a situation from someone else's perspective and discovered something unexpected? Let go of past grievances for true freedom. Picture yourself carrying a heavy bag filled with every disappointment, slight, or harsh word you've experienced through the years. For many, this invisible baggage grows over time, fueled by unresolved arguments with friends, misunderstandings with family, or regret over words we wish we could take back. The more we hold on to these moments, the more weighed down we feel, sometimes even distancing ourselves from those we care about most. Imagine the energy it takes to avoid a neighbor because of a years-old disagreement over a fence, or the sadness that lingers when you replay a heated conversation with a loved one. Emotional maturity asks us to lighten our load by releasing these accumulated hurts, not by excusing or forgetting, but by loosening their grip on our hearts. True forgiveness is a gift you give yourself as much as others. Maybe you write a letter expressing your feelings, never intending to send it, or share your thoughts in a journal to find clarity. Sometimes just speaking aloud what you've been carrying allows you to let go. As the burden lifts, you create space for joy, new memories, and deeper connection to those around you. Letting go of past grievances is not always easy, especially when the pain runs deep, but the freedom it brings can be incredible. You might even find that the person you forgave is just as relieved, opening doors to reconciliation you never thought possible. Is there a memory or old wound you're still carrying that, if released, could bring more peace into your life? What might change if you unburdened yourself and chose forgiveness today? As we reach the end of our journey together today, let's pause and reflect on the gentle power that emotional maturity can bring into our lives, no matter our age or past experiences. Each key we explored, from naming your emotions and taking intentional pauses, to choosing curiosity, embracing vulnerability, setting boundaries, practicing empathy, and letting go of old grievances, offers a pathway toward deeper self-understanding, warmer relationships, and genuine peace within. Life seasons may bring new joys and fresh challenges, but the ability to respond thoughtfully and connect deeply remains timeless. Remember, it's never too late to nurture this inner strength, to mend bonds, or to rediscover joy in simple, everyday moments. With every small choice to listen, forgive, or express your true self, you're writing a new chapter filled with wisdom and compassion. Carry this hope with you. Your emotional growth is a gift not only to yourself, but to everyone whose lives you touch. If this message found a home in your heart, please subscribe for more thoughtful guidance and gentle inspiration. Let us know in the comments what emotional maturity means to you, or simply type wisdom if you feel inspired to continue growing together. Until next time, take care of yourself and those you love.